While we learn about the opposition on the pitch, Wiser learns how to heat my home.
Ricky, back into Premiership Cup action this weekend and a chance for a number of the squad to really put their hand up.
Yes, these weeks are really exciting for some younger players and some senior players being able to get game time. So from that perspective, it's been a really energetic week. The guys that have played up at Worcester and been in this tough Premiership block that have gained some real important points, obviously having a rest, and it gives those younger players the opportunity to, one, stand up and be available for selection, but also just so they can put their voices across in training and meetings. So from that perspective, it is really exciting, and we're really looking forward to the weekend.
We've seen over the years how this competition acts as a springboard for young talent to come through and right up to the highest levels of the game. This year has been a bit different because of squad availability, injuries, whatever. Guys have had to do that development in much bigger fixtures, really. But you must be hugely encouraged with what you've seen from the likes of Daff, Pat Schickling, guys that are really coming through. Richard Capstick to some extent, I know he's been there a bit longer. But
yeah, I suppose if you look at the Prem Cup, those players would have had minutes within the Prem Cup, and then would be building along their development pathway to then maybe get a bench spot and build in that way. Well, actually this year they've actually, through them forcing themselves in, obviously injuries are there and part of the game, but when they've been in there, they've forced their way into that Premiership side. Yes, they might have been jumped a little bit quicker than what usually would have happened, but there's some players there that obviously have earned the right to be in that Premiership side, and that's what's exciting about this competition is, yes, we're in a position where if we can get a bonus point win, that puts us on 11 points and we're still in the mix. We do appreciate that obviously there's a lot of things going away from our group and what other teams will do whether we go through. But if the guys can now put in a really strong and solid performance both individually and collectively as a group, some players are going to have a big part to play in what's to unfold for the rest of the season. So yes, it's an isolated game, one game to try and get out the group, which is going to be tough, but also there's opportunities for the younger guys to take that step forward on their development pathway, but also for some guys to really put their hands up and go be part of something moving forward into one, keeping ourselves in that top four, right, and then keeping pressure on the other teams in the Premiership competition.
Equally, any game at first team level is going to be a challenge, and as you said, some of these youngsters, they don't have a huge amount of experience. It's going to be another stepping stone for them for the future. It may not happen this season for them, but they will use that as a building block to go from.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, it's one isolated game in a competition, but actually what they can do at the weekend is actually what could push them forward within the next week, within training, in the next month, the next year. So it's really important that they don't let that moment go, because necessarily it's going to be tougher to qualify at the group and they take their foot off the gas. But look, we've been really positive in this week as a group of coaching staff. We focus on ourselves. Not necessarily what Worcester are going to bring, because we don't know. And what they've done then as a group is reacted to that in a real positive way, and they've grown, and you can see those younger players opening up in meetings and bringing the energy with a sprinkle of those senior guys around it. With Stu coming back from injury, it gives him game time. With Will Whitty in the second row, who's come back from injury, and we're knocking on the door, going into the tail end of the season. With a sprinkle of those younger guys pushing as well. Arthur Relton's been outstanding in the Bucks season this year. Top try scorer, he's on our wing and really exciting. As a prospect moving forward, Dan John at fullback. We've got Tom Hitchcock, who's come in from the university, that's going to be in the centres there as well, with a sprinkling of guys around him. With Walshy at 10, who's been the standout player at Taunton, and he's a quality player. It's really an interesting blend, but also a really exciting blend as well.
Equally, you would have seen from your games earlier in the competition, albeit in defeat, some real signs of encouragement. Some of those guys are showing that they can compete at this level when they've taken, whether it be at loan clubs or the uni or just in the academy lifestyle, that they can make that step.
Yeah, definitely. I think when we went into our first Prem game here against Bristol, I think we talked a lot about showing the supporters the emotional side of the game and what it means to those players. And then if we do that at the weekend, and we did that against Bristol, the crowd will get behind you, and it showed. It felt a really exciting game to be involved in, both on the field but also for the spectators as well. And people who come to watch us play or any sport want to see players that are passionate, and we've talked about this week, and from that perspective, we've learnt from those, and we've talked around technically and tactically we want to play, but also what's going to give the crowd something to buy in and get behind. And for me, that's, yes, we haven't necessarily been in a strong position to qualify. We're still in it, but what the players have shown is that heart and passion, and then the supporters have then followed us, and that's going to be really important this weekend.
You mentioned about Will Whitty coming back. Stu Townsend in particular, you work very closely with. What do they bring back? Stu in particular is a life and soul of this club on and off the field, isn't it? He offers so much, but coming into the business end of the season now, that could be almost like a new signing for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think any player coming back from injury, what they do is they come in and bring energy. Right, I think, and what Stu's done and what Will's done is they come in with that energy, but then it's that directing the energy in the right places. So you can come in and be a ball of energy, but it distracts. But with Stu, what he does is very good at just bringing that energy, bringing the excitement, bringing all the group together, and then he adds the detail around it. He's very good at when to know to step in terms of to say the right things at the right time. It doesn't have to be all the time with him. And he leads by example as well on the training pitch. So that's, from my perspective, as a coach, you want the players to drive what you do. Really, as a coach, you should be on the sidelines watching and guiding, and the players leading it. And Stu's very good at that. And a lot of the players, senior players that drop down into this competition, are good at that. And then it's for those younger guys to follow a little bit, but then when they get the opportunities to learn and lead from that as well.